This is the very first lesson that we're going to learn in Excel. The topics here are workbook, worksheet, row, and column. What is a workbook? When you open Excel software, what you get is a workbook. It contains of worksheets. So I opened one workbook. It has got one sheet here. You can have additional sheets by clicking this one. You get another sheet. By clicking left click on the plus sign here, you can get another. I want to remove that one. Right click, delete, right click, delete. The horizontal ones are the rows. The vertical ones are the columns. So a workbook consists of worksheets. Minimum one is definitely required. It can be any number. And practically we don't go to more than 20, or even 20 is too much. Depending on the use, you can have, like I use normally 3 or 4 or 10. But there is a limit, but we don't have to reach that limit. Rows and columns are part of the worksheet. And where the rows and columns meet, for example, this is column number D and row number 2. So this is known as cell, and the address for the cell is D2. For example, this is column number G, row number 6. So that will be G6. And we don't have to type it to know that. You can just see from here that it is showing it as F5. Here it is showing D12. Here it is showing J4. So this one gives the cell address. Wherever you put the cursor and select that particular cell, the address is shown here. Now, how do you, suppose I want to, every time I start a new workbook, I want, instead of one sheet, I want to have 3 sheets open. So there is a method here. You go to file, then you go to options. So here I have written 1. So I can increase it to 1, 2, or 3. And then if I don't use them, then I can delete it. But this is the way you control. You can't make less than 1 because minimum 1 sheet is required for a workbook. And then it also says when it's open it, what is the font, what is the font size, all those things can be customized here on your Excel. So you don't have to worry about any of these things. If you're, when you open Excel, if you are getting 3 sheets, let it be there. If you don't need them, you can always, now I can't remove this sheet because if you remove this sheet, workbook will not exist. So we can only have minimum 1 sheet. You can't have 0 sheets in a workbook. Now question is how many rows and how many columns. Depends on the version. Now you want to find out how much is there in the in my version 2019. What I have to do is I have to put control and down arrow. When I put control and down arrow, I will get to the last cell. So control, keep control pressed and go to down arrow. So 1048576. And want to come back, control home. Want to find out the last column, control right arrow. And to find out what is the column number, the command for that is equal to column left, open and close bracket. So 16,384 columns can be there. And in this case, 10 lakh something is the number of rows. Anywhere you want to find out, now again go back, control home. Anywhere I want to find out what is the row number, of course you can see it from row number 11, but E, or if it is somewhere here, now you want to find out what is the column number, command for that is column 37, AK is 37. Go back, control home. So how many rows depends on the version. In my version, you have seen what it is. Now what is ribbons, tabs, etc. What you see here in the top is a ribbon, and each of these items, file is a tab, home is a tab. I got extra tabs here that has been customized, but form is also a tab which I have customized. But insert, draw, etc. These are the various columns, and some of this will have the small. So this is known as a dialog box. So I can open that. That will expand to further selection. So wrap text. What all things can be done by wrap text. So we will experiment with all those things one by one. Similarly, insert cells will come to that separately. Now they are ribbons and tabs. Moving a sheet or copying a sheet. Suppose I got something written here. I'll open a new sheet here. Suppose something is written here. Then I open another sheet. I want to move the sheet 4 before sheet 5. Just press the left button and move I want this one to be shifted to after sheet 5. Press the left button and go after this thing. So this is how you move. Now copy means I have to right click and make my copy. So what do you want? Excel basic, this particular things, selected copies, create a copy. If you don't say create a copy, it will just move it from there. Now this sheet 1 is a copy of sheet 2. Of course, there is nothing, sheet 2, G2, this is written here. Similarly, G2 is written here. Now removing, right click, delete, right click, delete, delete, right click, delete. So sheet 1 is there. I want it. Grid lines are this faint lines. If you do not want it for some purpose, if you want it to be a totally blank sheet, so you go to view and untick this grid lines. So you'll get a blank sheet. Now, if for some reason, if you find that you are wasting this much space, then Control F1 will remove that, and another Control F1 will bring it back, because you will need it sometimes to get the other menu items. So one Control F1 will remove it, another Control F1 will bring it, so that you got more space for the data. Auto fitting columns. Now let me get the grid lines back by clicking on this one. I want grid lines back. Now suppose I type something. So my name is K Vijay Kumar. Now it is not fitting into this column, so I can double click on this column. It expands to fit. Suppose I want also put my address here, Mangalore. Now again it is going out, so I can double click here. But you find that it is too much, I do not have that much of space. I want it to be split into 2 lines. So Alt, press it wherever you want to change. Alt, enter. Press it, put the cursor there. Alt, enter, will split it, and it will make space in the rows. It will widen the rows, increase the height of the rows. So auto fitting columns. Now I can again auto fit it, so that my width of the column is reduced. So these operations you can do anytime. Inserting single or multiple rows. If you want to insert rows, just put it here, select this row, and you say insert. It will insert. Suppose I want insert. So it is insert. It has taken that where my name is written. It has gone down. I want multiple rows to be inserted. I can select 3 rows and then say insert. It will insert 3 rows. Same thing, columns. I want to insert one column here. Suppose I want to insert one column here or here. Insert. It has shifted there. I want to insert 2 columns. Insert. So data will move based on what you want. Now, I do not want any of these things to be there permanently. So either Control Z or this undo button does one by one. So I'm removing whatever changes I did. I'm removing all of them. So it goes. I don't want my name also to be there. So automating our rows with changes. Drawing border. Now suppose I have some data. Suppose I say I put some dummy data I'm putting there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I put some more data here. I'll say 1, 3 here instead of 1. So it will create a sequence of 1, 3, 5, etc. because it knows that I started with 1, then 3, then it was the next number has to be 1. Now if I put 1, 5 and then dragged it, then it would have given me. Now this is my data and I want my data to look nice. So I need a border for that. So right click, format cells, and in that one there is a border. I can choose the type of border. So I got a border. I can choose different thicknesses. I can change the color of this font. So it's all there in the home. So I want it to be red, and I want from here to here to be a different color. I want it to be blue. Then I want this entire thing, this as well as this. So you have to put the control pressed and select these things. Then I want this to be bold. Then I want the font size to change. Then I want Calibri, instead of Calibri, I want different fonts. Then I want the background to be this one for here. Then for this one, I want a different background. I want green. So all those decorations can be done by using this in the home tab. So all the things are there. Now you want to see what is there in this dialog box. The various fonts will come. Now there is something called a strike through. Superscript, subscript, try out all those things. Strike through is this one. Suppose I want this one, then I say strike through, it will show one line. Suppose you want to show that, this is a data there, but this data is wrong. So it will strike through that. Renaming sheet. I do not want the sheet name to be sheet 1. I want it to be something different. I can rename it. I can call it as anything that you want. You want to call it as accounts or reports or company name, whatever it is. That is how you rename. And you want to change the color of the background there. So you right click, tab color. I want to be this color. So you'll get the background is in the color selected. Inserting sheets, either using this plus sign, or if you type Alt, keep Alt and Shift pressed, Alt, Shift pressed, and type F1. You'll get a new sheet. I do not want it, Control Z or remove it. Control F1 to hide or show ribbon that I shown you, Control F1. Now if I say Control Shift F1, even that one line also goes. I get it back. So that basically to get more place for the data on the screen. Alt Shift F1 to add a new sheet. We have done that. Inserting sheet, all this we have done. Now I do not want anybody else to know there is a sheet there. So I can go to hide. Now come here and right click and say unhide. Which sheet you want to unhide? So that she comes back. Now I do not want this sheet for me. I will delete this sheet. Next is making a database for our work. Let us say type the name for heading. Now let me go to the first one, Control Home. Here I put name and here I put subject 1. Now let me change this. Let me take this copy. Let me paste it here so that I can see what I'm doing. I'll paste it here and I'll make it smaller. I'll move this on here by pressing the left button and moving it here. I want to see the instructions as to what I'm doing. Type the name for heading A1. Below that, write student 1. So here you write student 1. Then it says B1, I written subject 1. Now I want up to student 5. When a plus sign comes here, press the left button, mouse button, drag it 2, 3, 4, 5. Now student 1 and drag it down up to student number 30. So 21, I got 25, 20, 29, 30. So I got up to 30. Now this is going beyond. This one I do not want. I'll go there and press delete button. Now I have to generate some numbers for the marks here so that I can do further calculations. Now this one I don't need it now. So here you put is equal to rand between. When I put rand, you'll get this option. So I'll choose rand between. I want to populate these cells with the marks. So let us say generally marks obtained by students are in the range of 30 to 95. I'll just put that number. Then drag it to all the subjects. Then from here, drag it to the 30 students. So we have got some data for our further calculations, which shows a simulated marks. Now, each one of them is a random number. Now, if I do anything operations, it will change. So we want to freeze these numbers. So select these and right click, say copy, then right click, paste special,
and say values. So now it is not a formula. You want to see it once again? Suppose I do undo that. So it was a formula earlier, and it is already copied, and that is there in the clipboard. I'll show you what is clipboard. Now I'll say paste special. What I did earlier, I'm repeating it because I did undo once. Paste special and values. Now, what are the operations you can do with numbers? Now, here, student one, we can find out what is the average marks he has got. So you put average of what? Average of these numbers and click on this one. I want to get the average of all the students. All you have to do is, because that to the left of this, the entire thing is populated. When you double click on that, you'll get the average for all of them. Now you want to find out what is the average of the subject in general scored by all the students put together. Again, same thing, average. And this time the average is from here. So you don't have to drag it. So you can check Control Shift down arrow. Control Shift down arrow will take it to the entire data. And now we want to go up to the last subject and also the averages of all the students put together, the averages of averages. Now here I do not want these numbers to be this long. So all that I have to do is I have to go to the already selected, right click, format cells, and these are numbers, and I do not want decimal places. So I'll say I want one decimal place. Same thing here also. Here I think the decimal place is one only. You can leave it as it is. And here I can write a mark. So average marks of the students. And it is again going beyond that. So either I can widen the cell or I can put Alt, Enter. Average marks. Now I want to make it more beautiful. Come to home. These are tabs. Home, file, home, speak cells. Speak cell may not be there in your computer because you had to introduce extra using the file options menu. Forms, insert, etc. So let me make it bold. So all of them become bold. Let me also make a background color to it, whatever color you want. So I want more colors. I can choose a light color. Okay. Then I want the entire thing to be having proper border. So I have to select. So you say Control A. And then I say I want all borders. Students also I want to make. So like here it's a Control Shift down arrow. And I use the same color. So it looks nice. Now here also average for subject. Here also going down. So I want to go make it go to the next line. Alt Enter. Average for subject. I want to further, not required because in any case it's occupied. So this also I can make the color here. I can make this entire thing bold again because they are the names of students, etc. And if I don't like it, I can undo it. So we are now what else you can get? So let us say what is the maximum marks obtained by the student in each subject. So the formula for that is max of all these. What is the maximum number? Now this one is not included. So what is the maximum? I want for everybody. I want to find out what is the minimum marks. So is equal to min of these. Now I want to find out for everybody. Now I want to find out maximum for the subject. Max for the subject. So you put is equal to max of the entire thing. From here, Control Shift up arrow will give you that. I do not want this to be there. So up to here. So that will give me the 94 was the maximum. Now you have to drag it here. So 73.2 is the maximum. No, this is maximum average. So let's remove this one. 93 is the maximum anybody scored in the subject. Sum of marks has no meaning. We are more interested in the average marks. So all those calculations can be done using this. The marks is going slightly here. Now suppose I said this become 2. I want to change the size. Now right now it is Calibri 12. So let us say I'll make it only 10. And I do not want Calibri as the font. I want Abadi as a font. Or I want Times Roman. So if you type T, so I'll get starting from Tahoma, Times New Roman. So the font also changes depending upon what you want. Now here the border has not come. So let us select this once again, Control A, and we want a border for everything. That also comes. So that finishes up to here. So this is the work that you need to do as lesson 1.